Hi, first graders. All right, this week's writing lesson is on writing book reviews. Today, I want to teach you that review writers write book reviews to recommend books they think others should read. You can use all that you already know about writing reviews in order to convince people to agree with your opinion. We're going to be using Tumble Books for writing our reviews. Looking at this slide, there are 8 different titles that you can choose from. I want you to visit Tumble Books to read one of the books below. And then I want you to write a review about that book. You need to use everything that you already know and have learned about writing reviews. We've learned how to get the reader's attention. We've learned to state your opinion. We've learned to give lots of reasons for our opinion. We've learned to include important information. We've learned to include fancy words, sparkly words, any type of word that's really going to fancy up your writing. And then we've also learned to include a recommendation and a rating in your conclusion. Meaning, why do you think this is your opinion? How many stars do you rate this book? Just like you did for your review of an object or your review of a certain type of food. Let's take a look at a few examples. This is a review of Frog and Toad Are Friends, written by a first grader. Frog and Toad Are Friends is a book about two good friends. They have fun with each other. In one story, Toad does not want Frog to see him in his bathing suit, so he tells Frog to close his eyes. Toad jumps into the water first. Then, Frog jumps in the water. A turtle, lizards, a snake, a mouse, and dragonflies came along. You should read this story to find out what Toad does. My favorite character is Toad because he is funny. I think he looks silly in his bathing suit. I also like that he is a good friend to Frog. My favorite part in the book is when Toad yells at Frog. I like it because he loses a button. He yells at Frog because it isn't the right button. I like the pictures in the book. I think the colors of Frog and Toad are realistic, green and brown. My favorite picture is of Toad in his bathing suit. I would recommend this book because I think it is funny. I would recommend this book to first and second grade. So boys and girls, I want you to notice, what did this writer do? Did they get the reader's attention? Did they state their opinion? Did they give lots of reasons for their opinion? Did they include important information? Did they include fancy words? And did they also include why they thought that this was a good opinion or a good story to write about, and include a recommendation and a rating? Here's another example. This is another Frog and Toad Are Friends example, but it's written by a different student. Do you like the book Frog and Toad, the story? If you do, great. Then you should read Frog and Toad, the swim. This is a funny book about Frog and Toad going for a swim. Frog doesn't have a bathing suit, but Toad does. In the beginning of the book, they jumped in the water, and I thought it was so funny because Toad kept telling everyone not to look at him in his bathing suit. It is really silly. The pictures will help you to understand how silly it really is. In fact, Arnold Lobel won a Caldecott Medal for Frog and Toad. Another reason Toad is so silly is because he wouldn't come out of the water because there were animals watching Frog and Toad swim. He stayed in for a long time. I thought it was really funny that Toad kept saying, "Do not look at me." I think he was kind of embarrassed. If you read this story, I'm sure you will like what happens in the rest of the stories in this book. So, boys and girls, you can compare and contrast these two writing pieces. They both wrote about Frog and Toad, but they're different in their own separate ways. We have to be convincing. You want to get your reader's attention. You want to teach important information. What, where, when, why is all this happening? You want to use comparisons. When you compare something, you are saying if it's like something else. You want to tell a little story, make a recommendation, and make sure you add your rating. All right, it's time to write, first graders. I want you to use everything you know to write a convincing book review. I can't wait to read all of your book reviews, and I can't wait to see what books you decided to choose. Good luck with your writing.